Well, it's great to get a sweep, play another good baseball game. Wasn't as clean today on the defensive end as it has been the last couple games. I think we gave a total of 10 free 90s between walks, hit by pitch, and errors. But we pitched our way out of it. Thought Travis Marr was really a big key for us today, pitching-wise, through 3 1/3. Only gave up 1 hit. Got a huge double play to end an inning. I believe it was in the 7th. Offensively, again, a big key for us the whole weekend has just been our fast starts. In the first inning, we had 6 quality at bats, scored 2 runs, capped off by Williams' single RBI. Had 3 hits, 2 walks in the first. Got their starters' pitch count up. And then in the 5th, Greeny, had a leadoff walk, doing a good job of getting on base for us. Logan hit a triple RBI. Seth hit a homer. He's been on fire. He's got to be in the talks for National Player of the Week based on how he swung the bat this week. We put together a big inning in the 5th. And then Greeny, got a hold of one, hit one out of the park. And I thought the biggest at bat of the game was the 8th inning, was Tedosio's double down the left field line with a couple guys on base. That was a huge at bat for us. And when it's 6-3 going into the 9th inning, tying runs in the hole, and that double to score 2 more to bring the lead to 5 was huge for us. But overall, it was a good day for us. It's going to be great to have a day off on Easter. Hope everybody out there has a happy Easter and gets to spend some time with their family. But overall, great weekend for us.
Is it fun to watch Seth when he starts to get locked in like he is right now?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it time and time again. When he gets hot, there's not a better hitter in the country. And right now he's locked in and swinging the bat well, and it just puts a lot of pressure on a pitching staff. You got to try to figure out what are you going to do with nobody on base or runners on base. It's tough, especially when you've got some guys behind him like Chris Williams who can drive in runs, and you got guys like Jolly after him who can put together good at bats. You can't just not pitch to him. If you keep putting him on base, somebody's going to get you. So, but right now he's locked in and swinging the bat well, and hopefully we can keep it that way.
Offense scoring 8 runs at least in each of the past 4 games. You feel like you guys are kind of hitting your stride?
Well, we've certainly been able to put together some big at bats. Over the last 4 games, and again, I think it's all about plate discipline. The more disciplined we are at the plate, when we can get guys on base, I think it just puts more pressure on the opposing team's pitching staff to throw the ball over the plate. And when you throw the ball over the plate and you've got some power in your lineup, that's where you put together big innings. I think we've had 4 consecutive games with a big inning in there somewhere. Big inning baseball is a backbreaker. It is an absolute backbreaker. If you put guys on base and somebody hits one out of the park, it's very hard to come back from that. And that's why pounding the strike zone and playing good defense is so critical in the college game, because if you make a team earn their runs, you're going to win a lot of baseball games.
Do you feel like
Was that specifically when he was struggling against NC State and Louisville? Is that an instance where you as a coach back off, or are you in here a little more?
Well, I think it depends on the individual. I think there's some players that will look for answers, and then I think there's some guys who will really try to spend a lot of time looking within themselves. I think Seth's one of those guys that Seth's going to watch his video. Seth's going to continue to work, whether he's hitting well or he's struggling. The one constant with Seth, he's constantly going to work on his swing. If his swing's in a good place, he wants to keep it there. And if he feels like it's not, he's going to try to find something that works for him. So Seth's a guy that will make some adjustments. But I think all in all, Seth started to find his swing at Louisville. He made a couple of adjustments just watching some film of himself when he's had success. And he even told us at Louisville, he said, I feel it. Like I can start to feel my swing coming together. So again, it's just, as a hitter, it's a constant evolution of trying to work on different things, different drills, different timing mechanisms until you can find what works for you. And once you find it, you've got it. And, the key after that is just keeping it. So it's just always a work in progress. But I think Seth started to feel confident, started to feel comfortable. And, once he's comfortable and confident, he's dangerous.
Jake scuffled a little bit. Do you feel like they were stepping out of the box, slowing the game down, trying to get him out of rhythm maybe a little bit?
No, I think overall, I think for pitchers in particular, you're on an island out there by yourself. And I think one of the biggest keys to being successful as a pitcher is you have to be able to pitch at the highest emotional state that you can pitch at and be successful. And I think oftentimes guys will get frustrated if they're not throwing the ball exactly where they want to, or things don't go well for them. Sometimes that emotional state becomes higher than you're capable of maintaining. I'm not saying that's the case for Higgy today, but I think Higgy's just trying to do probably a little bit too much. And if he can just stay calm like any pitcher, just stay within himself, they're typically wind up pitching a lot better. But that's easier said than done when it's your day to pitch. Starting pitcher only gets 1 day a week to compete, so it's you want everything to kind of go your way. But it's just gotta stay relaxed, stay within himself, stay poised. The guys that have low anxiety out there typically wind up pitching pretty good, and sometimes those emotions get a little bit high.
Things had slowed down considerably, but Travis came in and just started filling the strike zone, and it looked like that turned the game around.
Well, I think their lineup in particular swings the bat better off of left-handed pitchers than they do right-handed pitchers. If you look at the scouting reports and the split stats, they swing the bat fairly well versus left-handed pitching to begin with. But Marr, one thing that Marr does, he's got sink. His ball sinks and gets a lot of ground balls. It's very hard to single a team to death. So if you have sink on the fastball and you can pitch it to knees and you get ground balls, that's a recipe for success. So, and it certainly was today. Travis, did a really good job of keeping the ball down and getting weaker contact.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.